Back with another episode of Local Roots on this Monday morning. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Yes, my voice is a bit raspy today, and I think it was because of how much time I spent out in the wind on Saturday, and I just haven't fully recovered from that yet. Had a great time at the Nami Walks event in Council Bluffs Saturday morning. Big thank you to everyone who volunteered with the staff for Nami Southwest Iowa. Thank you to Mary from KETV from coming over and doing interviews with folks. And also, it was a little bit of a humbling experience for me because Nami Southwest Iowa announced that I'd been elected to their board. So thank you so much for that honor. And I will make the promise that I'll do my very best to treat that position with all of the respect that it deserves. So thank you for that. Also, I was then outside on Saturday for the CB Captains game and doing some field announcing there. Captains, by the way, won 5-1. So congratulations. They're still undefeated. And it was a very, very full day outside. So the voice just isn't recovering. I'm not really sure what's happening, but more water. That's everybody says hydrate. That's what I'm doing, trying to get through it. Coming up on today's show, we are going to visit with Linda Schumacher. She is in charge of a lot of things going on in Avoca, including the Avoca Farmers Market, which is going to be starting very, very soon. We're going to talk to her about that and about a lot of the other things happening in Avoca this year. So looking forward to that conversation, and that's coming up very, very shortly. Also, wanted to let you know that when you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. I was talking with Rick just yesterday. They're putting out some really funny videos online. Some of them, okay, let's just be honest, some of them are not safe for work, but still, they are hilarious. So if you run across Foxco Fabrication videos, give them a watch, give them a like, give them a follow, do all of that stuff. And go to their website, foxcofab.com, and you can learn all about everything that it is that they do there at Foxco Fabrication. Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations in Council Bluffs, Trainer, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis Castle and his team will educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. We should get Travis back on the show again, talk to us more about what's going on in the insurance industry, some of the changes maybe you have seen, and what you can do to make sure that you have the correct coverage. Talking with Travis, he said his passion is in education when it comes to insurance. And whether you use him or not, he wants to make sure that you know what it is that you need in order to have the right coverage for you. So give them a call today, and they can provide you with a free quote. Back with more of the program, and joining us this morning, it is Linda Schumacher, and she is joining us from Avoca. And why? Because the Avoca Farmers Market is coming up very, very soon. Good morning, Linda. How's everything going there?
Good morning. It's beautiful out there this morning. A little chilly, but I'll take that.
That's true. Hot. As we are recording this, it is, well, and here's the thing, too. How long ago was it? Maybe a month ago that we would have all been out in shorts right now on it was this kind of weather. And now we think it's a little bit cool because it's in the 50s. But still, I think spring is my favorite time of year. When I was a kid, it was fall. Probably because of Halloween, but now it's spring. And because you see everything coming back to life. And part of that is getting vendors back into Avoca for the farmers market, which I believe you've got people signing up for it already, don't you?
Yes, I do. I just came into my Main Street director's office and I have like 6 applications sitting there with their checks. And I think I might have picked up a new one last night at our food truck night down at the fairgrounds. So I think I have probably 10 vendors already coming on June 4th, which is our first night.
How many vendors do you usually have throughout the season?
I can have anywhere from 10 to 17 vendors.
And typically, what are these vendors bringing? Is it just vegetables? Is it other items? What can folks see when they stop by?
No, we have a very wide selection. Of course, we have our produce. And then we have baked goods. It can be from bread to, cobblers, cookies, muffins. And then we have fresh flowers. We have a lady that has a flower farm. and she'll bring homemade bundles, bouquets of flowers to buy, large bundles, small bundles. Sure. And then we have a vendor that brings plants, annual plants that you can put in your flower pots. Mm-hmm. And we have homemade jewelry. I have 3 high school kids that have been vendors for 4 years between crocheting awesome. And making homemade jewelry to produce. And, I have freeze-dried items. And we have a lady that makes kind of unique signs, and they're made out of wood. And then we have a lady that likes to make stuff retro. You know, go to those Goodwill places or go to garage sales, and then she puts it all together and makes new designs out of them. And then we have a lady that makes goat milk soap. And then she even has a line for the men with their beards to help clean they call them beard oil and balms to help their beards. So we have a very wide selection. And we have some nonprofit organizations that come to raise money, and they'll bring a variety of stuff. And it's just, just whatever you want to give them. So
it sounds like you have, you're hitting every category and you've got something there for everyone. Do you have space for more vendors? I mean, I don't know how big of a space you have there. So how many?
Absolutely. We block off our street. We are in front of our courthouse on Elm Street. Mm-hmm. So right now I block off about 3/4 of the street, but I can block the whole street off if I need to. We have a food truck that comes every week, and he has really good food from tenderloins, chicken strips, and he makes his own homemade curly fries. Mm-hmm. And he makes funnel cakes too, which is always a big hit.
Now, this is getting started on June 4th, so that's a Wednesday, and then you're going to go every Wednesday from 5 to 7 through?
Yes, every Wednesday, 5 to 7, all the way to the end of September.
Okay. It sounds like you've been at this for a little while. How long have you been running?
This is our 11th year.
Wow.
And Main Street, we did it 1 month in October to see if we liked it. Everybody liked the idea. So we said, okay, let's start it. And the Main Street board said, well, since you like it so well, we'll just let you run it. So I've been in charge for 11 years.
That's one of those things. So be careful who you talk to. Next thing you know, you've got a new job, right?
Exactly.
So if someone has an interest in being a vendor at the farmers market, what's the process? How do they go through that?
They can either reach us through Facebook on Avoca Main Street, or they can send me a private message on Facebook, just Linda Schumacher, or come to one of our farmers markets and come talk to me.
That would be I think that would probably be the best way. That way you can see everything that's going on. You can see how many people are visiting. You can see what products maybe that you could use there that someone else doesn't have. That's just the best way all around to do it. How about the folks that are coming to visit the farmers market? What kind of turnout do you get for that?
Everybody asks me, well, how many do you have? Well, it's kind of hard to count them when they come from every direction in town, Amber has tried to count them. We get a good crowd. And it's usually an early crowd and then just kind of a late crowd. It depends on when people get home.
Sure.
From work and all that. And we also do educational through Golden Hills out of Oakland.
Yes.
She'll come once a month and do educational presentations with information on, like, one of them was you can make a drink out of flowers on bushes.
Really?
organic. Yeah, you boil it and then you mix it with like a club soda. And then she did earthworms, why earthworms are so important in your garden, in your compost. So she'll come once a month and do educational. We play games with the kids. We do farmers market bingo. And when they get a bingo, they come tell us, and then they get a sticker. The kids do. And then we also have a little crocheted avocado, because if you add D-O to Avoca, it spells avocado.
Oh, so I never thought of that. So it's like Avoca do.
We do. Avocado. We have a big avocado.
Right.
And when we put stuff on Facebook, it's Avoca-do. So come see what Avoca can do this week.
That's awesome. I think that's a great play on words, and it's a wonderful marketing tool to be able to do that.
So we had someone make us a little crocheted avocado, and his name is Dewey. We gave him a name, and we hide him in a vendor. We hide him. Then if the kids find it, they have to come tell us where they found it, and then they get a little bigger toy like an avocado eraser or keychain or something we've purchased. And the kids are just all excited.
Everything you're talking about here, Linda, is what I have always loved about small town Iowa. Regardless of where you're at, that the folks that are there take such pride in the community that they're in and want to be able to support the community that they're in. And all of these things you're talking about do just that. I'm sure that you have people, obviously the Avoca residents are coming to the farmers market, but I would be willing to bet that you've got folks coming from a little bit wider than that, because it's just such a great event.
Oh, we do. Most all the surrounding towns will come, and which we're very grateful. We wouldn't be able to continue for 11 years if it wasn't the support of the Avoca citizens and all the surrounding towns. I know I had someone last year, they were staying up at the motel and they asked one of the clerks, what is there to do? And they said, well, it's our farmers market night. They were from Chicago.
And they'd stopped at Avoca.
And they came down to our farmers market and they said we had the best farmers market they'd ever been to.
Wow. That is.
And I said, well, thank you.
That is so great, because it's not always about volume. Because there's a big farmers market on Sundays in Omaha that is huge, and
yes,
there's so many things. But my opinion is you lose a little bit when you have something that massive, and because with yours, the charm factor obviously is there, and
yes.
and that's. I'm a big believer on what does an event feel like. And boy, you can really take something what you have created there and just make, as we already said, such a wonderful family atmosphere. And people be walking around smiling and may not even realize why they're doing it. It's because you feel so good while you're there and taking in all of these things.
And we have music too. We have entertainment.
Yeah.
So Roger Kubik always would play the accordion, but he can't do that this year because health reasons. But it's funny to watch the little kids stand in front of him and dance, especially when he plays the chicken dance. He gets them to do the chicken dance with him, and then people just stand around and talk. Catching up, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to? And because you'll look around, there'll be a little cluster of people standing around chit-chatting.
Yeah, it's the weekly social event in Avoca, and I think it's every community should be having one of these, and should probably work with each other to make sure you're doing it on different nights.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You don't want to be in competition with another town.
No, but it's perfect with what it is that you're doing out there. And I'm thankful that, the community has somebody like you to put all of this together, because I know it takes a lot of work.
Everybody says, oh, it takes so much time. It doesn't take as much time as you think.
No?
like on Tuesday nights, I'll send out reminders. Oh, you come in tomorrow night. And, it might take me 10 minutes to send 15 text messages. Well, I can multitask. I just do that while I'm watching TV during a commercial.
We also, Linda, while I have you here, wanted to bring up the parade that's going to be coming up very soon. And because, time just flies by so quickly anymore. And July's going to be here before you know it.
I know. I've already started working on that. We have a really nice parade. We have events during the morning. Titan's Machinery always do a kids pedal pull in front of our courthouse. That's usually around 10. And then our new business, Radberry's Bakery, this will be their 4th year of doing a car show down on the south end of Elm Street. And then the parade starts at 2:00, and it's usually about an hour parade.
Yeah, to fill up an hour for a parade, that means you've got a lot of entries there.
Yes, we do. We usually get probably around 80 individual entries. Of course, we get our agriculture businesses that put in all their tractors, and then I send out letters to all the cities around. And so we get several of the city's fire departments that will come, and they like to cool people off a little bit with their water trucks.
We were doing the parade in Council Bluffs a couple of weeks ago, and at the very end of it was one of these foam trucks. So they're shooting foam out.
Oh.
And our videographer jumped out in front. He saw it coming because we had all of these expensive cameras out there because we're doing the live webcast, and he's just waving his arms. No, don't do it, because he was thinking, here comes an insurance claim because we got hit by a foam truck.
There goes your equipment.
There goes the equipment. So I get it. Yeah, with the water, and I've been to so many parades that are shooting water out into the crowd, and it's just a ton of fun. And I'm again grateful that you're doing all of this hard work. I know you say it doesn't take that long, but still, you're doing it. And without the work that you're putting into it, these things don't happen. So grateful that you're doing that. And I'm going to get it into my schedule and get over there and see your farmers market. I haven't been to it yet, and I'd like to. So,
and then in July, we also have the East Pottawatomie County Fair.
That is true. Yes.
And that is the 16th through the 21st of July.
Okay.
This year.
See, I go back far enough that during my radio days, I've been to that fairgrounds for a football game. They used to play the high school football games there on Friday nights. And so I'd have to go climbing up through, and it was like a double-decker kind of thing to get up to where the booth was.
Well, they're lucky they didn't put you in the bird's nest across the field that you had to climb like an old windmill type device, and then you could sit in a little bird box.
Oh boy, that'd have been hard to get equipment up there.
Yes. And then our East Pottawatomie County Fair, they do a food truck night. Last night was their first food truck night, and it's always the third Thursday of each month. And that's May through October.
So the third Thursday of each month is when the food truck night is?
Yeah.
When how many food trucks do you have there? Do you know?
He had 6 food trucks there last night and about 5 vendors.
Perfect. Yeah, lots of stuff to do, and these are the things that make small town Iowa what they are, and especially around, we have so many wonderful communities in Pottawatomie County, and I'm grateful for all of the hard work that's going in Avoca, and it's just seeing a town thrive and seeing a town, while still working on growth, maintaining its identity. And I'm a big believer in that, and Avoca's done a great job with that.
In that food truck night, that money goes into the fairgrounds to help rebuild some of the buildings.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Upgrade, their wash bays and stuff like that. So
yeah, all the 4-H kids come fair time are going to appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. And then In November, we have another event, which is called Holiday on Main. It's on a Saturday after Thanksgiving. And that's where, shop local on a Saturday after
yes,
Thanksgiving.
absolutely. We're big believers in that. And what I was preaching last year during that same time was not just shop local, but also shop in person.
Yes.
Because I get that it's easy to order things online and have some guy in a big brown truck drop it off at your door. I get it. I understand about the ease of it. However, there are so many wonderful people out there that have these shops in all of these small towns that depend on people coming and seeing them. And you get a service that you don't get by ordering something online. When you can go in and talk with a shop owner or a shop manager and actually understand where your things are coming from that you're buying, and understanding that, hey, I'm supporting my neighbor by being here and by doing this, that is, we need to hang on to that. And I think people are starting to understand that a little bit more, but still the constant reminder is necessary that there's something to going out for the day, spending the day shopping, eat at a local restaurant, talk with folks, talk with your neighbors. We're too isolated anymore, and you're fighting that, and you're turning the tide with all of that, with everything that you're doing there, Linda. So thank you so much for that.
That event's been going on for over 10 years. It's a family event. We have a craft fair at the church that runs for 6 hours, where I have probably around 20 vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So you can shop there and buy personal Christmas gifts. And then there was an events on our main street from like 2:00 till 7:00. They have games for kids, and some of the businesses will be open. We have a Bethlehem walk from one end of our main street up to, they call it the manger. So that we have live events, and that draws a big crowd every year.
Well, you know what you've just done, Linda, is you just made it to where you have to come back on the show.
Oh,
because as these dates get a little bit closer, we're going to want to talk about it and get more details about it. So I'm hoping that this whole process wasn't too painful.
Oh, no.
And
I've done radio interviews, but I've never done a podcast before.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. My background is radio. So what I had to learn, a couple of things. One, typically I'd be very animated. So I'm just moving my hands around and doing all of this other stuff. So I had to try to sit a little more still because we're in front of a camera. And the other thing was, I've said this before, that I hadn't been doing this very long, and my brother sends me a text message. And he said, you need to remember that camera's always on you, because you look like Sam the Eagle from the Muppets while you're just sitting there. And leave it to my brother to tell me I look like a Muppet. But
well, luckily my one hand is holding my tablet so I can read my cheat notes.
Well, and that's wonderful. That's the way to do this. And I'll give you a peek behind the curtain. I'm sitting here with this, and I'm just, that way I'm keeping my hands busy and I'm not getting all animated with it. So that's
I didn't really want to forget any of some of my vendors. Sure. And I know you asked me, how far does my vendors come from?
Mm-hmm.
I have vendors that come as far as Griswold. Sometimes they come from Malvern. I get some that come from Atlantic. I get some from Harlan. I get some from over by Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
So I have a big variety of people that do come to our farmers market and to our Holiday on Main craft event. I have a lady that came from Des Moines last year.
Wow. Well,
she had her parents that lived in Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, oh, yeah, I want to do that because I can just come down and from Harlan and do the day. So,
well, I'll tell you what, you just keep me on your list of people that you're going to send information to, and we'll help pass the word about the things that are going on here.
Okay. And I want to give a big shout out to Stacy at Wida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much.
I mean, she lets everybody know what's going on too. Mm-hmm. She's great at her job by interviewing people and coming to our ribbon cuttings.
Yeah,
here in
she's
town.
since taking that position, she has done wonders with WIDA,
Yes,
and by doing that has helped the small businesses grow at the same time, which is
absolutely.
what the reason that WIDA exists, and she's been doing a wonderful job with that. Yeah, I was been about a few weeks ago. Yeah, I gave her a check. I joined. So
Good.
yeah, so because it's so important to support all of the local communities. So
Yeah.
um, so
And we
Linda,
do have some
yeah,
new businesses,
yeah,
and they're not real new, but we have coffee shop, and we have a new finance and investor person open a new shop. We have a bakery. If no one's been to Radberry's Bakery, what rock have you been under? Sheesh. That lady has been trying to get that bakery open for 5 years.
yeah.
She has wonderful stuff, and we have a wonderful flower shop. And if you have children, we have the best secondhand clothing store. We have people come as far as Atlantic to come to the
Yeah.
secondhand kid outfitters. Their clothes are. I had family here from Florida 2 weeks ago, and two of the daughter-in-laws, they went home with 2 sacks full of clothes from kid outfitters, and they said, "I wish I had this store in Florida."
Yeah, those stores are wonderful, and it's great that you have one there because it's not just for people to be able to find things, but also people to be able to donate things, and you can get your clothes there. You know that instead of just taking up space in the closet that you're never going to use again.
Yeah. And we started a little thing a year ago, and we called it Spirit Swap. Because, each year you buy your kid a new school spirit t-shirt, sweatshirt,
Yeah.
and then next year, oh crap, that don't fit no more. So we started a spirit swap, so you can bring us your stuff that doesn't fit your kids, and then we put it out, and it's free.
Wow.
Because that stuff costs a lot of money.
Yes, I remember.
And then a lot of kids, they don't have enough money to purchase that kind of stuff. And why just let it, like you say, sit in the closet?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we had a really good turnout last year. So anybody that's watching this, you got clothes that don't fit your kid, don't pack them away. Just bring them to me at the market, and we'll store them till right before school starts.
That's perfect. I'm guessing you're probably easy to find at the market.
Yes, I am. I wear a green Dewey's t-shirt. We had those made last year for our anniversary, so everybody could find us. So,
well, first farmers market, June 4th. So
at 5 o'clock.
Get it on your calendars from 5 to 7. Plan on going down there. There's going to be food. There's going to be entertainment. There's going to be lots of vendors. If you yourself are a vendor and you're doing the farmers market tour and you don't have a place to go to on Wednesday, then this is the place you want to be. So
Yes.
I encourage you to get signed up and see if we can't fill up Main Street there on that block.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah. Linda Schumacher, thank you so much for your time. I'm grateful, and as I'm not going to let you be a stranger. We're going to have you
Good.
back, and we're gonna as these events come up, we're going to talk, and we're going to be able to fill people in on everything that's going on.
That sounds great, and thanks for calling and reaching out to us.
Just another example of the wonderful things going on in the more rural communities around Southwest Iowa. Lots of great things happening in Avoca. So again, June 4th is when that farmers market is going to get started again. Head on out. Make a family evening of it. They're going to have food, lots of things going on there. And I'm looking forward to getting over and visiting that as well. Oh, by the way, you may have noticed I'm wearing a t-shirt today. Usually I don't wear t-shirts. Every once in a while I do, but I don't. Let me move my microphone out of the way. Can you see? Yes, this is showing some love to my friend in Nebraska with the Growing Small Town Nebraska podcast. That is Sheila Jenkinson. She does something very similar to what we do here. This is video. She just does audio, but still, she comes from the same kind of radio background that I do. And with the success that she is having with that podcast, I'm just thrilled. And there's a lot of things that affect small town Nebraska that also have a direct bearing on small town Iowa. We face the same strengths, same weaknesses, same challenges, all of those things. So give it a listen. And I have a feeling that you'll find that we have an awful lot in common with our neighbors to the west side of the Missouri River. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network helps you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care at home in Council Bluffs, Glenwood, Red Oak, Clarinda, and all of the surrounding communities. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. And if you have a leak, a clogged drain, or planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. Fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Waldstein Plumbing and Air Serv Heating and Air Conditioning in Council Bluffs, they are located in the same facility. So whether it is plumbing needs or it could be something going on with your air conditioner this time of year, these are the guys that you want to get a hold of. The Waldstein family, Travis and his son Hayden, doing great work over there. And when integrity matters, and when doesn't it, these are the guys that you want to get a hold of. Go to waldsteinplumbing.com to learn more. That reaches the end of Monday's show. Thank you so much. Looks like things are going to be rainy for the first part of the week, but we can always use the rain. And looking forward to having a wonderful and successful week this week, and I hope you do as well. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.